So hopefully you guys are enjoying this mini series, I guess you can say, where we work on the smaller islands of the empire and go through how important it is to develop this on the side, considering that there is some important materials, of course, like iron, limestone, as well as zinc and copper and everything else that's pretty much on these islands. So it does boost extra income for your empire, which is very good, or your kingdom, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's very interesting that the main focus, of course, of those episodes is that how much you can actually get on these small islands. So, one thing I did realize from the last episode is I did manage to get, two wheat fields, which technically I guess we can get at least one more and maybe a couple more factories, but we're just reserving most of this space to do other things. So let's go ahead and start this episode by working on the next one. So I think this one is a little bit more established. We do have this guy here, which, you know what? Now it's going to get a little bit more trickier because this one definitely is not as big as some of the other ones. So this is going to be very interesting what we're going to do with it. It does have iron. Let's see, it has copper, of course, zinc, and I believe this is limestone. Yes, and limestone. So we're going to see what we're going to be doing with this island. It does have two beaches that we can use to develop our harbor. So this is going to be pretty cool. And of course, before we start to this episode, make sure you guys join the community and subscribe to the channel. It helps tremendously, as well as drop some comments on any questions that you guys have or some things that you enjoy or maybe some things that you're wondering about. Make sure you also like the video if you manage to get to the end and if you are enjoying the series. Make sure to also check out some of the other games that we have. I do play Anno 2205, and eventually at some point very soon in the near future, I'm going to be playing Anno 2070, which is going to be pretty fun. I do have some of the other Anno games that I'm thinking about how I'm going to be bringing that to the channel. It is more of the, I guess, prologue, yeah, some of the other sequels to Anno, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see. So I have some friends that I got into this game and they are enjoying it for sure. So I'm glad for that, and everyone's enjoying the videos by the looks of it. So, all right, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the time to see if we're going to need more. Let's see. So we're definitely going to need a church just because we're going to need workers. We don't have any workloads being made, which means that we are going to need sheep, a sheep farm or a couple of sheep farms, maybe at least two. So, I mean, for this size, maybe one. So one for one for each. And let's see, I think we have enough fish at the moment. So these guys are good. These guys are going to need their own schnapps being sent here. They do have some potatoes, so maybe I can get that fitted in the front, potentially on this side. Make sure I reserve a lot of the beachhead for the harbor. So let's, you know what? I'm going to start by building maybe a warehouse, something. Let's go like this. I want to make sure I'm able to get a road completely around this guy. Beautiful. Okay, so this is exactly what I want. So let's see. We're not going to be using much of this space. So I want to make sure. So let's do something like this. There we go. So now we can kind of really maximize all the space that we can get. So next step is I'm probably going to add a sheep farm maybe right here. So where is this sheep farm? Get this guy. And I'm going to add it maybe somewhere over here. So the way that we're going to distribute most of the space, I guess we'll kind of work our way around that over time. Yeah, I don't like how this guy is placed. Oh, okay, so we can't actually... Now I'm just starting to grab everything. Okay, so let's do the last part of the expansion. Perfect. And now we're just going to need the framework knitters. So let's place this in a good spot. That way I can see the sign and pretty much everything about this factory. Okay, and now I'm going to add a road. We can add some trees here, and then we also have this road, obviously, for the zinc, and as well as some of the other mines. So considering that we have a copper deposit, we're going to be using that for other things that we're probably going to have to send over to the main island. Okay, so these guys are going to be getting pretty much everything that they need. The real question is, how did these guys have schnapps already? Unless if it's being sent here. That's interesting. How do these guys have schnapps? Okay, let me double check the routes. So let me see. So let's go over to our schnapps. Okay, so there's one island. That's another island. And there's that island. So I quite honestly, I don't know how these guys are getting their schnapps, which is kind of confusing. Interesting. I mean, confusing, but interesting. Okay, so what I'm worried is that these guys are not going to have their schnapps eventually if we start upgrading them into workers. So let me see if I have the ability. No, so I'm assuming that's because you don't have the work clothes just yet. Okay, these
Something's
guys
missing.
don't have wool, so it is on their way. So what I'm going to do and see if we have any available boats. So we have two.
Stations.
So let's go to the pier here. We're going to take some wood and as well as bricks. I'm probably going to bring some iron or steel beams.
Ready for assignment.
That way we can kind of just do everything right away. We don't have to kind of bounce back and forth too much. You know what?
Plotted.
I'm also going to take a look.
Just browsing.
Let's see, they have any extra animals. So it looks like they have another mummy, which we could take, and as well as geckos. I don't know if we have already geckos. And a dog fox. What's this? Some stews, so this helps with a bunch of stuff.
There's a human in you somewhere.
Let me send that boat to go and pick that up.
Aye.
We're actually on... It's on regular speed. And let me see if we have geckos. We actually don't. I think I did want to buy that at some point. See how much income this is creating. 2,264. Absolutely amazing. But at some point in another episode, we do have some space around a lot of these towns that we could add some extra fountains and so on. So just like I said, the water fountains are some of my favorite. So we'll have to take the time and add more of those guys. So I guess the strategy here of adding more of the beauty to the island is definitely working. Okay, so is this guy over here? Okay, so he's going to take some time.
Schooner reporting.
Okay, so let's get the 50 wood, 50 bricks. Do that, do that.
We assist however we may.
Send them over here, and then we'll go pick up the steel, I guess, afterwards. So the next thing that we have to do is get a church. Build this guy right here. I think that's a good spot. I think it should be able to reach pretty much everything. Or maybe, you know what? There we go. Okay, now these guys are being reached all over the place. If we have to adjust it, we could definitely do that. I'm going to add a road. That way these guys are able to get over here. Okay, which is good. And now they're getting their work clothes, which means that we're going to be able to upgrade them once this boat arrives, wherever it is. Okay, so I'm also going to expand this just a bit more so we can add a couple more houses. I don't think we're going to have an issue with that. Do something like this. I think I'm going to expand to the beachhead. And then we can pretty much use the rest of this space at that point for anything else. There we go. I'll leave this space for other factories or anything else, maybe little shops, maybe a farm. And then this, we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. There we go. Okay, so we'll add a couple more houses here. Okay, so it looks like the shipment has arrived, which is nice. Okay, so now we need these guys. Get this church built. There we go. These last couple of houses. Okay, and these guys almost have enough. So I know for sure the next part that we are going to need is the pig farms. So you know what? Maybe that's what I'll do is have a separate warehouse on this side. Oh, we're attacked. Let's see who's attacking us this time. Ah, I'm assuming it's from the New World. Okay, so let's see if we can get into diplomacy with this guy. And quick. Okay, not this pirate. This pirate. Requests a ceasefire. He wants 12k. That's pretty good.
You're right. We need some perspective.
There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so now these guys are at a ceasefire. Let me see if I can increase. Oh, request a peace treaty. No. Offer a gift.
Fine.
There we go.
I'll top up the old sea chest.
Beautiful. So eventually, I think the ultimate person that I want to get into an alliance here is going to be the Queen of the Pirates. It's going to be a very interesting aspect. All right. Now we can finish this off. I'm going to see how can we efficiently do this and maximize all the space. I think this is the best that we're going to get, which I think is good enough. Now these guys are going to be able to get upgraded. Amazing. Okay, so now we're out of wood. So that's another thing. Should I add a little area so these guys are able to get some wood?
I hereby sentence you to not very hard labor.
Okay, so much for a jail sentencing here. So, okay, he offers you a destruction quest. He's gonna give us a bruiser. So harbor activities increased by 10, also 18,000 coins. I'm gonna say no to that.
How did you manage to wriggle out of it?
Very easy by not falling for the pressure. Okay, so now let's see the max efficiency we're gonna get on this side. 78 or 79%. Get a road like this. Beautiful. And then we can also add a factory. You know what? Let's do it right here. Bingo. All right. So now these guys are making their own timber, which is very important. That way we're going to be able to
Ready for assignment.
increase the rest of the population. We're going to need all the factories and houses that we can get.
Take the rudder.
Kind of costing us a lot of time to go back and forth in between islands. But at least we're taking care of things slowly, which is good to see. So the next part is we are going to need sausages. So we have our first workers on this island, which is good.
This place is the onions.
We're going to add, let's say, the slaughterhouses as well as a pig farm. So how close do we want these things to be? I think I'm going to do something like that. So we can't build these guys right now just because we don't have enough wood. So considering that I did send that boat back, it's going to take a little bit of time before we get enough wood in this island. That way we can continue building. So in the meantime, I'm going to go back here and buy those animals.
Stoner reporting.
So let's see. Hopefully they're still available. Oh, no, we lost it again. And then also the donkey is kind of useless at this point. All right, so there is Rusty Serratus. Okay, so it's just a coin. It's not really useful. There's also a wooden shield. That's kind of garbage. There is a copper ring, which is plus 20%. And a colorful textiles, also 20%. Expedition effect increases 15% in medicine. That's quite interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just leave this guy here. Actually, take a look at the new world and see if she has any available items.
You are here to help.
So items, she doesn't have much. Let's pay 5,000 coins and see. All right, so actually, we got a parrot and we have green turtles. You know what? I want both of those.
New orders, Admiral.
We're going to send this guy to come and claim those. I think I'm going to do the same thing back in the old world. We're going to go and get a little bit of coins over there so that we're able to get the animals that we want. We'll send a boat over to come pick up these animals. Then we can bring them over and put them in our zoo. The one thing that I've realized is that there isn't any items here that we can buy for the museums, which is kind of sad. Buy this guy out. So let's get the parrots, let's get the turtle. I think that's good for now. There's really nothing else. So we just have to keep our eye peeled. Send this guy over to bring those. Then I'll come back to these guys. So let's talk to Madam Kathina. Pay some money. So really nothing again. So goats. I don't want any goats. And let's see, jellyfish is actually kind of interesting. So I'll purchase that. That's actually pretty awesome. I wonder how that's going to look in the zoo. Jellyfish in a zoo. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we'll get that. We gotta purchase that first. Let's throw this around. Oh, these guys got peacocks. Okay, so let's do peacocks. Let's purchase that. And we don't have enough room. Rats. Okay, I don't want rats. That's kind of it's kind of funny. So donkeys and then a sword. I mean, a sword's pretty cool. And they also have a gray wolf. So I think these two animals is good
Ready for assignment.
For now. Not pretty. It's not bad. Okay. Let's get as much wood as we possibly can. Another 50. You know what? I'm going to do another 50 of wood. Let's do... Oh, okay, so we actually ran out. Oh, I got to double check because these guys are paused. I just remember that. Storage.
I had no idea I was so prolific.
Let me see. Full output storage. So I'm going to get one of these guys working.
When do we start again?
Let's actually do two. Considering these guys are paused. These guys also full output storage, which, you know what? Kind of nice to see because we're having issues to keep that up and running. So I ain't complaining at all. Okay, so we're going to need also the soap. So I'm going to start setting up these factories slowly. Perfect spot, quite honestly. And as well as we're going to need a factory, so we'll add this guy here. Also add the sausage factory with this warehouse. So we'll leave some room to do other things. So how do I want to place this? I'm going to do it like this, just in case if we need another one. So we pretty much have everything at this point. going to move this over. That way we can kind of separate it, add some trees and so on. I think these guys are kind of finished. We gotta see if we're going to be able to get another grain farm, as well as flour and the bakery, so we still have a lot of space. So we're not looking too bad here. Okay, you know what? I gotta pause. There we go. Costing us a bunch of money. So now the real question is, we're going to have to put it somewhere where there is a lot of space, but we're not going to be using this room. It's technically in between the mines. So maybe that's the key here. Do something like this. These roads are not going to be perfect. Quite honestly, I am not complaining. Just because we don't have the luxury of the room right now. Okay, so this should be a decent
Time
spot.
for a nap in the head.
I'm going to pause that. Okay, and now we need to expand these guys. So let's see how this is going to work. Let me make sure that boat... Yeah, that's what I
We assist
expected.
however we may.
50, we're gonna... Can we expand this guy? Okay, we don't need to expand him right now. Okay, we don't have the steel. This guy can be expanded. Now we just gotta build up the pig farms. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Okay, we'll leave some room there. And then 1, 2, 3, and then that's gonna be the 5. So let's do backwards. Here we go. Can I actually push this up by one more? No, I can't. Wait, I think there's... Nah, we don't have the room. Actually, I'm gonna cheat the system a little bit. There we go. You know what? One more right there. Perfect. All right. Small little roundabout on the farm. That way it will give us room. We can build more on the side once we need more of those guys. So now we're just going to need the steel. At least these guys are getting their sausages.
Stations.
Okay, so now we just have too much wood. How much this is going to cost to run? So 75 storage. That's the problem. It doesn't tell me how much. Okay, I'm going to expand. All right, about 100 potentially. Drop this guy off. Okay, he can go back. And I also just noticed that the income again is dropping like crazy. This guy is empty.
Schooner reporting.
You move back. So what is going on
Visitors are falling
exactly?
away.
Oh, so we dropped by 1,000 income for some apparent reason. Interesting. And the other problem is, so 2,000, we are dropping off in income again.
I
So
see new floor.
my assumption was right. So we're having problems with the oil, so no electricity, and as well as coffee and also rum. So I think that's going to be the next episode. We'll take care of all of that. It's probably a good idea that we do. Let's see, animals. All right, so this is going to be kind of awesome. Go peacocks and jellyfish. That's going to be very neat to see. All right, so let's see how different that these things are going to look. All right, so I guess this is the peacocks exhibition here. Is that you guys can see. So basically, it's just like a fountain pretty much, and then people sitting around, which is pretty nice. So, you know, if you guys have experience going to zoos or safaris, that is pretty much how it is. So you have the peacocks basically all around pretty much, and you can pretty much feed them, which is very interesting. Peacocks are a very interesting bird, or I think they're birds. So I guess a bird. But yeah, it's very cool to see. So it's like open. It's not caged like the others, as well as you have like a little, yes, shed pretty much. And who knows, maybe that's where they keep all the food and so on to keep these guys busy. Is that a guy? Let's see. No, so he's just looking. So I guess they're happy that they have all these animals around. So this is actually pretty neat. So where is the jellyfish exhibition? Oh, that's crazy. The amount of jellyfish that you actually have. So I guess it's like more of a Caribbean look to it. And then you actually have a small cannon here on like a small little island. And then all the jellyfish, it's like completely packed with these guys. That's so awesome to see. So I guess they are completely different. And the cool thing too is we don't even have the turtles and as well as the birds or the parrots. So once we do get the parrots here and as well as the turtles, that's going to be another one. So, you know, the sad thing is that I can't make this like gigantic, but I was actually thinking about this a couple days ago, or actually a day ago, is that I think we're going to adjust a lot of this. And that way I can bring in another one of these cages potentially on this side. And then afterwards push a lot of this down like right here. That way we're just like able to maximize pretty much everything. All right, that's pretty neat. Okay, so let me make Sure, and see if this boat
Ready for assignment.
is here. So we're gonna get the steel. Okay, so it looks like money is just going up, which is very nice to see. So we're going to be making quite a bit by the next episode once we take care of that. Okay, so let me finish this guy. See how much of the space we're really gonna be using. I'm gonna add trees over here. So I don't want to go too much into that area. Gotta make sure that we fill in all the spaces. Okay, so let's see. I think it's safe to say that we can do something like this. There we go. Now that these are going to be able to operate, we just have to get the flour mill and also bakery. Okay, so we need the
New
steel.
orders.
What I'm going to do is bring like 20 steel. Let's do 30. You know what? Let's do 40. These guys are producing so much steel.
Schooner reporting.
Doesn't even matter. You guys are definitely going to need it for a bunch of things. And now we
You
can
reward
also
our hard graft.
continue upgrading these guys. The good thing about upgrading them to the second tier is that we don't actually need bricks. Kind of takes away some of my worries.
You reached a new milestone.
All right, so it looks like we officially turned into a port town. Perfect. We do have to eventually get defenses here, potentially. This one's kind of protected, you know, pretty much, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, so now I'm considering, should I make another warehouse, which only costs 20 over here? I think that's probably a good idea, considering that we do have the mine. I'm going to grab another warehouse. If we need to move it, I will do so. Right now, we can keep this guy. Go to bread. All right, so do we have the flour mill? We don't. First thing we're going to need. And then the next is going to be the bakery. Do that.
Better doing this.
And I'm going to grab the trees. Let's see. Take a look at these trees. The thing about these ones is it's so tall. I think these guys are different. And they're also smaller. Okay, so I'm going to destroy that. Let's do this and see. So see, that's the problem. Not enough trees. Small tree. Okay, let's see how small these guys really are. Okay, that pretty much looks like shrubs. And then these guys are way too big. I think the elm tree is what we were using before. Alright, so it should be good enough. I don't know. Let's see, trembling tree. I mean, it's kind of better. It's not as big. Let's see, modest park. Mature tree, that's too much. And then we have apple trees. You know what? Change it up. Add some apple trees here. There we go. All right. And then we can also add apple trees here too. Give it more of a farm appeal. Here we go. Maybe that's what we're going to do is around a lot of the factories and warehouses, start adding apple trees. And then more in this region, we'll add the larger ones. That's the only thing is we can only keep them for the outskirts. There we go. That's not bad. So now that this guy is here,
Ready for assignment.
give the steel. Let's build out the soap. That way we can start getting our workers nice and clean. And forgot the
New
bricks.
orders.
Now this guy's gonna have to be sent back. We got this guy to bring it.
Steersman.
So now that at least now that I know that we're short on electricity, the problem is I don't want this area to start getting affected. Let's go to needs. They are getting electricity. Then the problem is,
Stand to
oh,
attention for the boss.
they're actually missing coal. This is not good.
I
And
don't
what's going
have
on
all
here?
I need for my canvas.
So they're actually short on beef. Where do we have the beef? All right, so I guess the next episode is, I think we're going to worry about the
Stations.
optimization of most of the islands.
Ceasefire has ended.
The larger ones. All right, so we needed bricks. Get 50. You know what? I'm going to take 100. You guys are producing so much. We are also going to need to pave some of the roads. Okay, so bricks and bricks. Okay, it's going to be nice to see. I'm going to see if we can actually add some trees here. Let's see how all the apple trees are going to look in this region. Do something like that. This tree looks out of place. All right, well, I guess that's going to be the one tree that's going to stay. Okay, at least they have a bunch of apple trees here. That's pretty awesome. Add some more. Not bad. Bunch of apple trees everywhere. Never have too many. Perfect for the pigs. They can eat all the leftovers. So now, do they actually need... Let me double check to make sure that we have enough fish in production. So production we do, demand is pretty much good. So we might need more work clothes.
We'll notify you
Okay,
when
so
we're
now
unhappy.
so I don't know how long the clothes is going to last. Oh, okay, so now they're officially out of schnapps. So you know what? We're going to need a lot more ships. So I'm gonna get another one of the schooners. This guy being
Schooner
sent
reporting.
over. And do we have a leftover guy? Let's get another route. So let's see, we're gonna have to go over to the other island over here and get more schnapps. These guys love their schnapps here. So this guy, let me double check his name. So it's Medusa. So let's get this trade route up and going now that I know which boat it is. So Medusa. Okay, so we have to click on this one. Gonna go over here. So we need to load. So let's go to Schnapps and unload good. Make sure that it's 15. Now that these guys have 15, let's also do 15. Beautiful. And now we gotta make sure that we build another distillery. Also some extra potatoes. Let's get another one of these farms. So let's see, full output storage. So what I'm going to do is just build an extra distillery. So we definitely have too many potatoes. I think my strategy for these guys is working a little too much. We pave. Ooh, okay, these guys are heavily short on farmers. Get some more farmers then to build out over
We
here.
don't need you dragging us down.
Oh no, so reputation with Anna Harlow went down by 3. That's not good. I'll get it back up at some other point. Build another one over here. You know, I'm gonna change the direction of this guy like that. Do something like this. Actually, you know what? Leave it. Hopefully this fixes the problem.
Ship constructed.
Okay, and there's another one of our schooners. Okay, so let's see where else we can add more of these guys. I think we
I'm
can...
confident it's
Oh.
ready to go.
Okay, hopefully our editor gives us some good news this time.
The idiot is back.
Oh, nice. Idiot.
Oh, heavens. I thought you were the photographer.
Yes, yes, I am the photographer. Clearly, I'm the one that got all the good news, not the bad news, but... Alright, so no sign of spectacles in ditchwater. Locals want transparency with regard to recent shortages, mystified by town's lack of vision, as well as +10 consumption, which is not good. So I'm going to edit this out. So we can get increase of happiness.
Poetic license.
So I think that's what we're going to look for.
Censorship is not always the cranny of the corrupt.
Come on, it's not corrupt at all. We have to have good news around
I
here.
find your whole standpoint
wow.
supremely questionable.
-5. He was definitely angry. Guy did not like that. Alright, so I think these 2 homes should be able to supply this area. Okay, so we borderline just managed to pass that. The good thing is we also have the extra schnapps facility. Man, these guys are busy bees. Look at the amount of people working in this region. I guess these trees do fit this area. It's not bad. It's kind of hard to see a lot of the factories going. Okay, so now that these guys have their bricks,
Schooner
I'm
reporting.
gonna finish the episode off here. Build out those 2 factories. We can get the rest of these guys. Now we just have to see if we're going to need anything else at this point. So what I think we might as well do
Hold the machines.
is build out
Some
more.
scab
Whoa.
broke closure, did they?
Yes. All right, so we're going to upgrade a little bit more of these workers, considering we don't need that many farmers. This at least will give us the excuse here that we can get another work clothes factory, just because the demand was there. Okay, so let me change up the trees. Do something like that. There we go. Just so that we can mix it up. All that is left at this point is pretty much to just finish this up by paving a lot of the roads. So I gotta make sure that I use all of this a little conservatively. That way we have enough to do some of the factory zones around here. So what's going on here?
We
Guys are
lack
missing
the requisite material.
flour. So I mean, they are getting the flour now at this point. Do something like this. Stretch this out here. We do still have 54 left. These guys don't have enough of something. Want to make sure that this entire region is optimized before kind of let it go. And there's one more road. I don't think we need to worry about that for now. So let's see these guys. Maybe it's a good idea. How is this? I don't know the direction those guys are kind of going. Okay, so I think that's actually good enough. Now we can use the rest of this to kind of finish this up. So let's get all the important areas, pretty much all the town. Not gonna need these bricks for anything else for a little while. I'm gonna add a road in between. Let's do something like this. Okay, let me grab some of this extra road that we have. Dude, this guy, this guy. Now we just gotta fix these little spots. And I think there was one more. I got it from a corner somewhere, but I think that's pretty much it. Okay, well, at least we managed to fix a lot of this, which is good. We pretty much optimized this entire island, which is good. So our larger islands are not optimized to the max, so we're gonna have to take care of that in the next episode. We're going to finish the optimization of the larger islands. We're gonna take care of what's going on in the new world, so we're gonna have to make sure they officially have enough rum as well as coffee, because those are the big steals. We're going to have to start getting potentially a larger ship, maybe two, to start sending oil over, which means that we might have to get an oil depot on this side, because that's where everything is coming off of, is this larger port. But at least we managed to get a lot of the wheat farms, so we pretty much got at least one. So I guess we do have some space to get a second one. We can always just put one closer to here and then continue to expand it.
Ceasefire has ended.
We also got some worker clothes, pretty much the same as the last episode, flour, and as well as the bakery. We took care of some of the soap and sausages, so now we just have the mines basically available to us once we need it, which I guess we can always just come back pretty much and fix those and add anything once we need it and send in some of the trade ships. So it just goes to show how important these smaller islands are when you spend like small amount of time to kind of make it unique as well. So I'm actually thinking about always every day how to expand these guys and how to make them very much more different compared to how you generally just, just build on these, which is good to see. But as always, guys, if you managed to enjoy this episode, don't forget to join the community and subscribe to the channel. It helps tremendously. Drop some comments about how you guys think this island turned out, and as well as how we're doing in the game, which is always good to see. And if you guys have any questions, also like the video if you managed to get to the very end, which is always the best. And to always stay de-stressed, positive, and creative. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and I'll see you then.